So this summer, CommerceNext partnered with Yotpo to produce our annual digital marketing benchmarking study. And one of the key trends we found in this that retailers need to prepare for a cookieless future. I'm sure you're going to be hearing a lot about that over the next 2 days. In less third-party data. So today, Omer Bar-Joseph from Yotpo is going to speak about the value exchange economy and why it's essential for brands to get that right in order to survive and thrive in this digital world. So Omer is the general manager for Yotpo SMS. He's been with the company for 5 years. During his time there, he's taken part in some of the company's most strategic initiatives, helped build and scale the product marketing team. He led 2 of Yotpo's acquisitions of a loyalty and SMS marketing platforms. So without any further ado, please welcome Omer Bar-Joseph to our CommerceNext stage.
I'm really excited to be here and talk about this important topic. It's great seeing people again in real life. I woke up this morning very excited to get dressed again, brush my teeth again, all these things I haven't done in a while. I'm kidding. A bit about myself. My name is Omer. If you guys were following the agenda and the invitations for this event, you might have been expecting Tomer, our CEO. He unfortunately couldn't make it, so the company looked for someone with a close enough name so we don't have to change a lot of materials. And here I am. But other than that, I'm sure you won't feel the difference, or at least I hope so. I work for Yotpo. For those of you who don't know, Yotpo is an e-commerce marketing platform. We serve tens of thousands of e-commerce brands in the US and globally. And we offer a platform, an integrated set of solutions for reviews, UGC, loyalty referrals, and SMS marketing, which is the business line that I lead today. Our main mission is to help e-commerce brands strengthen their relationship with their customers through advocacy, community, engagement, and retention. That's enough about us. Let's get started with the topic of today's talk. So a lot of things happened in the last year. E-commerce is, of course, still growing on the waves of COVID. And I think what's most significant event that happened are the privacy changes. And in the previous talk, you heard about the death of the cookie, and I'm sure this is always top of mind for you now. We're seeing that third-party data is not as reliable as it used to be. We're seeing that brands can no longer target, understand, engage with their customers the way they always had. And looking at the trends, this is not going to change or get better, likely going to get harder and harder. And because we work with so many e-commerce brands, we were very curious to understand how these changes impacted them and what they did in order to plan ahead, prepare, and adapt. So we teamed up with CommerceNext, and in June 2021, just a few months ago, we surveyed over 100 brands to find out how they are adapting to this new digital landscape, how their last year was performing, how their budget changed, plans changed. We surveyed mostly CEOs, heads of marketing, heads of commerce, decision makers in those online retailers. The full report, you can find it at the Yotpo booth. I highly recommend going there after when you have time to take a look. It's super interesting with incredible insights. I will give you kind of the highlights, or at least some of them today. So to start, overall, what we're seeing is that brands are overwhelmingly investing in creating more value to their customers. Brands are preparing to the value exchange economy. What's that? I'll get to that in a sec. But first, look at some of the data that we found. I think you're going to hear a lot about that today, and I'm sure that you guys are feeling it in your day-to-day. But customer acquisition in 2021 was a huge disappointment for brands. It's becoming a lot harder to acquire new customers. Over 43% of the people we surveyed said that customer acquisition was trending below their expectations in the last year. And why is that? It's mostly about competition. Competition in e-commerce is becoming harder and harder. The barriers to start selling online are getting lower. A lot of offline businesses are moving to online, and the competition that we see in every single category is increasing. On top of that, add the privacy changes and the fact that brands today cannot use the data the way they used to, and ads are becoming less effective. It's becoming really hard to capture customers' attention, to rise above the noise. So we asked brands, what are they doing to balance those weak acquisition results? And the majority of them said that they're going to invest a lot more this year in retention marketing. They're not going to stop investing in customer acquisition. They can't. But they're seeing that the tactics they use to acquire customers are becoming less effective and more expensive. And they have to mitigate that and find solutions. And by investing more in customer retention, by increasing customer lifetime value, increasing repeat purchases, they can mitigate that and get more from the customers that they already acquired. Sounds easy, but it's hard. Retention isn't easy. The most important thing is, of course, to sell good products. If your products are good, people will come back and buy again for sure. But with the increased competition in every category, that's not enough today. Brands need to create value for customers. Brands really need to earn that next purchase, to earn the loyalty of their customers. And you can only do that by creating value. And value doesn't just come from your products. It comes from your service. And it comes from the experience you give your customers in every single touch point that you have with them. And in order to give value to your customers, you need to understand them. And for that, you need data. Data is key to creating value for customers. And as I said earlier, data that you used to rely on is no longer available or is less reliable. And what we're seeing is that brands are moving towards owning their data. Whether it's first-party data, data that they collect on their own from shoppers coming to their website or any other assets of theirs to their stores, or zero-party data, which is kind of this buzzword right now. You've probably heard about that, becoming the gold standard for data. This is data that customers are willingly sharing with you as a brand. They're sharing with you their preferences. They're sharing with you what they want, what they like, what they dislike, what matters to them. And this data is indeed golden. And brands that are able to collect both first-party data and zero-party data and combine those and use that data in a smart way to engage with their customers and do that in a coherent way across their marketing tools. An average brand uses above 15 different marketing solutions. If you're able to use that data and create a coherent experience for your customers, only then you'll be able to create experiences that creates value, an experience that sparks the value exchange economy. The value exchange economy is a cycle. You create value for your customers, and you get value back from your customers, and so on and so forth. So I know this sounds a bit high level, and I want to show you guys how brands are actually doing this. I'm going to talk more. There's a lot of ways. I'm not going to go through all of those today. I'm going to talk about things that we're closer to what we do at Yotpo and closer to our expertise. And I think the most important thing is first to build a channel where you can build a relationship with your brand that will allow you to create value and get value back. And one of the best examples, and I'm not sure it's the easiest one, but it's definitely where I would start with, is a loyalty program. Loyalty programs, when people think about loyalty programs, they're immediately drawn to points and discounts. And of course, these are ways to get repeat purchases and customers coming back again. But loyalty programs, if done right, are a lot more than that. First, you can create a lot of value to your customers, a lot more than just discounting their next purchase. What we see brands doing with loyalty programs is giving rewards in the form of exclusive access to certain products, first access to products, giving those customers this sense of exclusivity, invitations to events that are only for loyalty members. You can give a lot more value than just those 50 points off, 50% off the next purchase. And we're seeing brands utilizing in a very smart way, creating a lot of value for customers that are members of the loyalty program. And in addition to that, they're getting a lot more value back from their customers. It's not just that next purchase, which is super important, and of course the third and fourth purchase are important, but you can get customers through a loyalty program to bring you a lot more value. For example, you can incentivize them to refer a friend and battle those tough acquisition costs with a very efficient channel of referrals. You can incentivize the customer to submit a review. That review on the product they purchased will help you convert future customers. You give them value, you get value back. And you can use loyalty to get customers to share data with you. Whether it's your phone number, subscribe to your text marketing list and get an incentive for that you can use later on for marketing and more retention strategies. Or more so, share zero-party data with you. And the next example I'm going to show you is Mizzen & Main. Mizzen & Main is a men's fashion brand, really cool one. You probably can't tell, but I'm a big fan of men's fashion, and they're definitely on the front lines there. What they're doing as part of their loyalty program is that they are incentivizing customers to share data with them on their preferences, their shopping preferences, their style preferences, their height, their weight, their size, their fit. And by doing so, they are able to take that data and create even better experience for those customers later on. So they're giving value to the customers. They're rewarding them for that information. The customers are willingly sharing that information with Mizzen & Main. And they're taking that value and using it to bring even more value. And this is the value exchange economy. Another great channel that we see brands utilizing to create more value for their customers is SMS marketing. SMS marketing is probably the hottest thing in e-commerce right now. From the survey that we did, over 60% of the brands are already using SMS marketing. That was in June. I believe that numbers are higher and going to get a lot higher this year. And the reason why SMS marketing is so successful, there's a lot of reasons. I'll talk about three. First, I like to call it a zero-party data channel. Customers are willingly sharing their phone number. They're willingly subscribing. It's an opt-in only channel. And they're doing that. Sometimes there's an incentive in play, but they're doing it mostly because they want to hear from you through this channel. They want to get text from you. And if they no longer want to do it, it's super easy to opt out. The second reason is that with SMS, you're engaging with your customers through their phones. This is the most convenient way for the customers today. This is where they spend the majority of their time. And that creates crazy high open rates. We see 98% open rates, crazy engagement with high click-through rates, high conversion rates. This is where customers want to be engaged with. They want to have that conversation with you through SMS. And the last piece is how easy you can use the data that you collected on your customers, the first-party data, the zero-party data you collected on your customers, to engage with them through SMS in a smart way. This approach of blasting your customer, this mass marketing approach of sending the same message to all your customers, can work sometimes, but it's not going to work, and it's not going to bring, for the long term, and it's not going to create enough value for your customers. Through SMS, you can use the data that you collected to treat your audience and split them into different segments based on their preferences, based on their shopping behavior, and target them with relevant content that is interesting to them, things that they want to hear about. And doing that in a smart way can bring a lot more value to your subscribers, keep them subscribed to your program, and get them back to shop again and again. What's cool about SMS, in addition to that, is that you can also text back as a consumer. And from a consumer survey we ran, over 89% of consumers want to text back to their customers. They want to have those to their brands. They want to have these conversations. And it's super easy to do through text, and it's another great way to build relationships with your customers. And to close the loop, we talked about collecting zero-party data through your loyalty program. We see brands using their SMS program to continue that cycle and also to collect data. We see beauty brands ask their customers, what are they interested in? Are they interested in makeup? Are they interested in lipstick? In eyeliners? You can use keywords, so you can do that at scale. The customers reply back with their preference. And you collect that data and use it to make sure that the next message you send this customer is relevant for them. It's what they want to hear from you. And if I'm subscribing to a fashion store and I'm only interested in shoes, I'm only going to get information, sales, new products that are about shoes. This is super important, and this continues this value exchange economy. You give value, they give value back, and you use that to create better experiences for them. So to summarize, the bottom line is brands, with all the changes that's happening, need to move towards collecting and owning their own data. Using that data, they need to make a big effort to create a holistic, coherent experience for their customers and create value for them. If they do that right, they're going to get value back, and this cycle will continue. And you will get customers to come back to your stores again and again and again. This is it for today for me. Thank you very much for having me. My email is here if you have any further questions, and you can meet me at the Yotpo booth. Thank you very much.